So which pacifiers are non-toxic and safe for your baby? I've got some good news. Most of them. And I say that with a caveat, which I'll get to in a second. This is really cool because this is an example of consumer protections actually doing what they're intended to do, which is protecting us from toxic chemicals and it not being able to be exploited with loopholes and corporate late stage capitalism and greed. Right? So the chemicals that you would really have to worry about, bisphenols like BPA, right? Or some of the other bisphenol replacements that show to do the exact same thing to your baby's body, or phthalates, as well as microplastics, right? The actual particles of plastic are really harmful to your child. What's really cool though is that due to a few different laws, the pacifiers aren't going to have these, right? Federal law in the Consumer Protection Safety Commission that has banned the use of phthalates. Now, phthalates are an entire class of chemicals. They didn't ban all of them, but what's cool is that other states have banned more than just the CPSC. And so that means phthalates are gone. Now, phthalates are what make plastic flexible. Like the kind of plastic that you need for a baby pacifier, you really can't make without phthalates. So what's amazing is that merely just due to that, manufacturers are forced to use high quality silicone. So silicone can have a lot of the same toxic additives as plastic. However, because they banned phthalates, silicone can't have that either. And the silicone is the only other material that can really get that kind of malleable, flexible, chewiness that a baby would be looking for. But high quality silicone is really the only way that they can do it. Pretty much every single pacifier out there at this point, including the generic ones, including the cheap ones, those are made for the most part out of platinum silicone, which is basically the best quality silicone you can get. The only caveat to pacifiers being safe is the potential of rubber, right? So there's a lot of pacifiers out there that say natural rubber. Now, I don't know necessarily that they are unsafe or toxic. What I do know is that it's dishonest. Okay, so natural rubber, even that word natural is unregulated. Okay, so anybody can use that word. So as a result, they can say natural when really it's very unnatural. And even if rubber is derived from a tree, right, as opposed to synthetic rubber that you'd be making, even if it's derived from a tree, it still has to be heavily processed. A compound that has shown to come out of rubber is nitrosamines, and those show that they can potentially increase the risk of cancer. There were some studies out of Korea a few years ago where they did test natural rubber or pacifiers, and they did show to leach some nitrosamines. And so that's something that could potentially be a concern, but there's very little attention on it, very little information on it. And so that is to say, it could be totally safe, it could be great, but I do know that it's definitely dishonest when it says that it's a natural rubber. It's not natural. Just stick to your conventional pacifier. This is an example of consumer protections working exactly the way that they're supposed to and protecting your kid from toxic chemicals.